guys, welcome to my channel. Today we have a special scenario of who will win the US against Russia. This is a mapping scenario. Okay, and we'll get started. The US is coded in red and Russia is coded in blue. You guys can see the photo of blue right here. That is Russia being invaded. Now let's begin in Siberia. It's probably been the longest war. Longer than I don't know what war was the longest. But American territory landed right here and right here. And they began to move up. They began to land over here. Remember, Russia is still fighting Ukraine, but I'm going to say Ukraine peace out and gave away Crimea to Russia, but they had to go against the US. The military is pretty weak right now. Putin is probably upset because the US was supposed to be, I don't know, a counterbalance to Ukraine, but didn't work that way. And the US is making a lot of progress in the East. To be fair, it would take a pretty long time for it to reach Moscow. But Russia has to defend their lands no matter what. It's not even winter yet. It is middle of August, almost September. Anyways, the US is making a lot of land, a lot of gains in Siberia. But we're going to get some gains near the city over here. But they are afraid to enter China or North Korea. To be fair, this is just a 1v1 scenario. You know what else is fair? Not to use nuclear weapons in this scenario. Because in these mapping who will win scenarios. That's just a real rundown of what it is. Anyways, we're just making a lot of progress. And Russians are nowhere to be found. So let's step 2 months in. Sorry about that. This is 2 months later, and we just chapter a lot of for Far East. But that's fame. They had to assume they want to go to after the city and peace out for the entire Far East. Or they just want to peace out now. But I'm not going to let that happen. It should be a long war. American forces are advancing very slow pace because they don't want to give Russians to get behind them at all. I mean, they managed to take this island because why not? And yeah, this is just getting annoying. Right? They managed to chapter these islands. I'm not coding these islands because it will be a waste of time. I'm not sure this island owned by Japan, but it's not. I didn't look it up. Now Holland is, I'm not sure how many people live on this island. Probably a bunch. And the US is landing on this island. And yeah, it's not looking good for Russia. I almost say the US, but US is red, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but US is red. The Russians are here defending their lands, but they are not doing anything much because the US is just a bit forced to mess with. Sorry, I had to do that because I'm taking right a couple. And we have Holland almost being shot by the US. And that's what, it's almost December. No, I'm just kidding. But months don't go by very fast. But US military go fast. I have to say so myself. Because I'm an American myself. I don't know much about my country's military power. That's what we're in. Anyways. But US making a lot of progress over here. And the Russians are no match against the US. as long if they can survive a winter, they will be able to like push them back a little bit. Sorry about that. That's just my buddy. I'm sure. Sorry about that, everybody. Anyways, the U.S. is now invading into the Far East. Yeah, this is just like, yeah. The Russians are coming, but they will take a very long time, and it's still a couple months. And we're back. It's almost December. It's a couple days away, and the Russians are being pushed back a lot. But there's a real hope for them. That is winter time of the year. Anyways, the U.S. is making their way to the coast. They want to hub the coast first, but move up inland. To be honest, there's no people living in these areas. I don't know why I call them for some obvious reason. But I don't think they have important military value very much. Now, since the U.S. is like endangering close to winter, they had to put a lot of steam. With that, all the U.S. forces would be until right here. These guys over here would be moved inwards. There are countries that supply weapons to Russia, that mostly China and North Korea. North Korea will send trains into China and into Russia. Anyways. But if the U.S. is near the border, China decided to put a defense line on the border. But the U.S. say, hey, this is just me and Russia war right now, not your war. And China could accept it even though they're very close to the border. And American troops are very, very aggressive. I mean, but almost at the city right here, well, but not even close. At this point, Russia's kind of get your butt kicked in the peace treaty because they're not going to get any land. And we're just moving forward to the peace treaty, where the peace treaty happens here instead of later on in the war. To be honest, this war will take decades or even centuries or something like that. But this is just the way it is. And I'm not getting to the peace treaty because that would take a lot of work. And I will see you guys next time on Harris Nimbus. I don't know what it's called. Like my channel called. Alright, see ya.